slavery freedmen. So all we're saying, hey, look, if you are considered a freeman, you have access to this reparations claim from the United States government. We don't get in everybody else's reparations claim. We're not included in terrorism. We're not included in these other reparations movements. So we started our own here in the United States. Now, I understand the reparations movement goes all the way back to the 70s, but now in the 2020s, we have a resurgence of this movement, and we are going by lineage, not by race.
Okay.
You're not eligible just because you're black. You're eligible if you are descendant of freemen. That is our legal status in this country. So the freedmen who the 14th, 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments were specifically for, that's who we're speaking of. So if you are of the diaspora, we say sue your colonizers. If the French were your colonizer, then sue them. If the British were your colonizer, then sue them. If the Spanish were your colonizer, then sue them. But the problem is everybody wants to get up in our reparations claim, and we can't have that. Now, the great Epistolic Junior said that there's no such thing as an American, there's no such thing as an African, there's no such thing as an American, there's no such thing as an Australian, et cetera, because none of these places produce justice. So we are actively working to do justice in all 9 areas of human activity, which are entertainment, labor, politics. Let me start over. Economics, entertainment, law, politics, religion, correct, in all 9 areas. So if we're not actively working to change this global system of racism and white supremacy and replace it with a system of justice, we ain't really talking about much of anything. And that's what Mr. Fuller Jr. wanted us to do, to get all people that classify themselves as non-white, so-called people of color. We are at war in all 9 areas, specifically black people. We have been at war with this country and this government for 1,200 years, 400 plus years now. So we understand that it's a global system. So it's not just here in America, it's globally. So
all right, cool. All right, we got to wrap it up. So I'm way over time, man. I got Kalashi hitting me up saying, brother.
Manners, and respect people. Back. Hope everybody good. Seeing. So again on this journey of greatness of learning, understanding ourselves. At least we can say we have recognized something. And the things that we're supposed to recognize, it's us. The greatness of us. And if we now look on the greatness of us, then does greatness exist? If we now look on the greatness of us, does greatness exist? Because where does greatness come from? Does anybody know where greatness come from? Does anybody care where greatness come from? White people? I do. And I'm on my way to find out which part greatness come from. It's okay if not everybody is not interested, right? It's for me to be unlimited. The thing about it is, these people did all of these greatness with no hesitation, no fear, just strength, moral consciousness. on a high level of understanding who them is, them existence. So when we just did a play was Professor Griff on him. I tell you some use the people that when we use the them content, it's people most and foremost them have a thought, a representation. And again, everybody now go agree with what a person say. And I keep on saying that are the greatest obstacle. One of the greatest obstacle is people not understanding. So you don't have to be perfectly in line with everybody for it to work. It's the direction of where we go and what is trying to accomplish. Myself, football, basketball, all of them things there. Even though people keep on saying, "Oh, different brother, different mind," but throughout history, all of them people that win championship and all of them things there, all of them people that did have a different mind, a different role for play and everything, but them just have one goal. They just have one goal. But that a wish part, it seems like say everything I get messed up. What's the goal? What's the goal? What's the outcome? That always the question. And nobody not really come up with a plan yet. People have so many different plans. But nobody not come up with the plans to make things work in a sense of it can't just be this. It seriously can't just be talk, and not change. To me, it's just sad. That's why I'm say all of them people I want to highlight are people. I try highlight them people for sure so them people I got through many more obstacles than we. And then people have set such a high standard example of them vision, them goal. I just love just me personally, me just love it. Because again, if we did have something where we can all people got church, me tell you say one of the thing we did talk about before is people got church, but after church, where them go? Then go home. And when people got church, I'm gonna talk about God. So it's not like them gather up and say, okay, today we're gonna talk about God. Next Sunday we're gonna talk about God and finance. The Sunday after that we're gonna talk about God and cultivation. uh, so it's people them not gather up for nothing other than it's not community anymore. See the thing about all of the journey I I got you, it's new type of thing, but it's nice, warm feeling me I feel. I just I got through them. just walking through history with these people by reading their story and seeing them great accomplishment. But you can't take pride in that. Oh, or contribute to that. I'm gonna tell you say the things them that I've always done. I mean, nobody now write no book about me. Nobody now write no story about me. But the story goes on. The story goes on. So I pick I know me pick him, um a Professor Griff pick him. I'm just a go over him history and everything to find out like how him life was and everything. 1 second. Already then. All right. Back to where we did there. Now I said the people them who did live them life in a normal way and set certain example for we follow, right? So I say the person who I did that play before was Professor Griff, and him did a um give a shout out to remembering the life and legacy of anti-racism advocate Nellie Fuller Jr. And him passed away February 4th, 2025. Let me tell you, so there's so much our hero that we don't even know about, right? Many people are set a certain level, a certain standard, right? And we just keep on finding finding people that's so amazing. And you see, someone at 95 years old and he's been an advocate for so long. Great people, them just the great people, them just pop up All me I do is just highlight them. I give them a shout out. So now them start talk about him. So now me have to go start binge watch him the information on him. Because me tell you say him write books and them stuff then there's so much about him and it seems like say he's somebody that we're supposed to be aware of, right? So it says seven things you need to know about Nellie Fuller, mentor of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. See, that's the next person. Does the name Neely Fuller Jr. ring a bell? What about Dr. Francis Cress Welsing? No, I didn't. I never know them personally until today. Both intellectual giants, the former mentored the latter and is respected among scholars of racism and inequality. Here are seven things you need to know about Nellie Fuller Jr. Outspoken advocates against racism and white supremacy. Born October 6, Mr. Blue, 1929 at the height of Great Depression. Fuller served in both the Army and Air Force. Tells you the greatness. During his time in service, the things he witnessed at home and abroad led him to begin studying white supremacy. He has spent his life studying and explaining the world system of racism as well as offering insight into how it can be countered and replaced with a true system of justice in which everyone is treated fairly and those who need the most help get it. I just love the people in my fight for humanity, as many people might paint you as racism because you think that because you believe that you have the ability, you have the knowledge, given the opportunity, equal opportunity. So it's equal opportunity given. Racism has done more to promote non-justice than any other social material system known to have been produced or supported by the people of the known universe. Fuller wrote on his website entitled Produce Justice. The fear, frustration, malice, and confusion caused by racism retards or prevent all constructive activity between the people of the known universe. And you see how this man I think though? He continued. The only form of functional racism that exists among the people of the known universe is white supremacy. Fuller has authored 3 books over the course of his career. There's an original book and textbook entitled The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept, a counter-racist code, and a word guide of the same name that can be purchased separately. Fuller also hosts a radio show, podcast, and a YouTube channel under the Produce Justice banner, where he discusses work and positions. He believes there is no hope for black-white relationships until racism is abolished. In a recorded interview, Fuller has said relationship between black and white people could never work under a system of white supremacy All of the arrangements between black people, non-white people on this planet. This man, I love the fact they look upon it as a planet. Scene. All of the arrangements between black people, non-white people on this planet in all areas of activity, 24 hours a day comes under the banner of, you might say, a tragic arrangement, Fuller said. And that breaks down into three categories: tacky, trashy, terroristic. And it doesn't get any better than tacky. You're not going to get anything better than that. You're not going to get what we call a quality relationship ever under the system of racism. You can only get that quality relationship ever under this. You can only get that quality relationship if you eliminate racism, meaning white supremacy, and replace it with a better system. One of Fuller's most famous quote is, if you do not understand what white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else that you understand will only confuse you. It is the premise much of his work is based on. On his website, Fuller said he has been a long-time victim of and servant to racism, white supremacy in all areas of activity like millions of others. He added that his experience, observation, and other studies led him to believe several fundamental things, including no major problem that exists between the people of the known universe can be eliminated until racism is eliminated. He believes as long as racism exists, anything said or done by people that is not intended to eliminate racism and to help produce justice is a waste of time and energy. Focus on 9 areas of people activity, quote unquote, are permeated by racism and white supremacy. Fuller believes racism and white supremacy operates across 9 major areas of people activity, according to his website. I'm gonna check out his website too. This man was 95 years old. This man, and they said he didn't want to be considered a doctor. He didn't want to be considered a professor, because if he was, he would solve the problem. Again, there's so much information on this man that and according to how things is today is the 13th of February. Right? And remember in our January I said there's nothing connected to each day unless you add meaning to it. And so today for me, the 13th of February, even though it's the 10th, this is what I'm learning. They include economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, counter war. On his website, Fuller said most people's problems stem from these areas. He explained it this way. The overall effect of this system of world government, correctly called a system of white supremacy or racism, is to do great, non-just, and completely unnecessary harm to all so-called non-white people in all of the aforementioned 9 major areas of people activity. If you're a victim of the system of white supremacy, racism, it is constructively logical that you seek to know and understand exactly what white supremacy is and how it works in all of the 9 major areas of people activity as they are presented and defined in the textbooks. The United Independent Compensatory Code System concept. He mentored Dr. Francis Cress Welsing Now, that's the next professor that I hear them talking about. Like he's a next great person, but I've never heard of him either. Dr. Francis Cress. People, I tell you, say no. I am learning as I go along, and the fact of the matter is that it's so interesting. All of them things are just so interesting. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing was a well respected psychiatrist whose work surrounding racism and white supremacy made her a polarizing figure among hip hop artists and civil rights activists. Oh, and see, I didn't know she was a female. And so look at it. I'm finding, see, I keep on saying it though, man. As soon as I start opening up these stuff, there's so much interesting, there's so much, there's so much more to everything. And I say it's so much more to us. I was looking for the answer to racism, and I remember attending a Black Power Committee meeting. Welsing recalled on her first time meeting Fuller in a clip on YouTube. After the meeting, people were sitting in somebody's apartment eating African food, and a gentleman was on the other side of the room. And mind you, I'm looking for further answers to racism, and I hear this gentleman, Neely Fuller, over there in the other corner saying racism is a system. He did not endorse the idea of black supremacy. While Fuller is a major advocate for abolishing racism or white supremacy, he is against black supremacy, believing both are destructive to humanity. If you say white supremacy, that means you don't have anything such thing as black supremacy. If you say white supremacy, that means you don't have anything such thing as black supremacy. That's impossible. It's either one or the other, and black people shouldn't aspire to be black supremacists, Fuller said. That would be just the same old form of mistreatment, but it'd be done in blackface. We should replace the system of white supremacy with a system of justice, which means guaranteeing that no person is mistreated and guaranteeing the person that needs help the most gets the most constructive help. Do you believe in that? So I get all of them, all of these people are all introduction for me. I can always I can always go do more in-depth. Okay, so according to compensatory logic, there is reason to believe that what each person does or says each and every day as an effect that is either constructive or non-constructive. Also, according to compensatory logic, there's reason to believe that what each person does or says each and every day has the effect of helping to produce justice balance between people, or helping to maintain and expand the practice of non-justice, non-balance between people. Also, according to compensatory logic, there is reason to believe that what each person does or say each and every day has a direct or indirect effect on what happens to all the people in the known universe in what could be called the nine major areas of people activity: economic, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, counter war. Note, sadly, many kinds of problems are produced by people in all of these areas of activity. One of these areas, war, should never have been invented. Ah, that's tough. That's tough because I'm saying on the Bible, you know. Okay, fine. Before the Bible, yes, that's true. But that it's impossible to say war should never happen because that's how people are. People just have this mentality say there has to be dominance. So that me say is it's that one is tough to say war should never have been invented. That's tough because it's been there way before, and then it's just reinforced in the Bible, and then it just continues. But that me say from a born war a go on. There's never any time in the world where the whole world is at peace. That's what, 130 years? Yeah, that's how long. There's never been any peace, and longer than that too. Okay. Also, sadly, and according to substantial evidence, there's reason to believe that all of the people of the known universe are directly or indirectly influenced by people who believe in and who are successfully practicing a system of government that is worldwide and that is specifically designed to and intended to dominate and mistreat people who have dark or non white skin color or have factors decided associated with dark and or non-white skin color. The overall effect of this system of world government, correctly called the system of white supremacy and or racism, is to do great non-just and completely unnecessary harm to all so-called non-white people in all of the aforementioned. The nine major areas of people activity. If you are a victim of the system of white supremacy, racism, it is constructively logical that you seek to know and understand exactly what white supremacy and how it works in all of the nine major areas of people activity as they are presented and defined in the textbooks. There is logical reason to believe that if a substantial number of individual non-white persons victims of white supremacy begins to think, speak, and act in a manner that is constructively codified, the collective effect will be the rapid erosion of all of the behavior glue that binds all of the day-to-day major elements of white supremacy racism into the powerful system that it is. This behavior glue is the combined speech and or actions of those individual white persons who each day say or do those things, great or small, that have the effect of directly or indirectly helping to maintain, expand, or refine the strength of the system of white supremacy racism. It is constructively logical for all correct thinking people to think, speak, and act in a codified manner with the intention of replacing the system of white supremacy, racism, non justice with the system of justice balance between people. Some compensatory reference remarks for doing so are presented in nine major areas of people activity via the basic and world guide textbooks of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept. Summation. In all of The aforementioned nine major area of people activities, the white supremacy, racist man, and racist woman have a precise codified way of saying and doing everything. This race code is the functional key to their success in dominating and mistreating the non-white people of the known universe with great skill and relative ease, cause and effect, at all times knowing exactly what to do or say, and knowing exactly what not to do or say, with little or no hesitation, with few or no mistakes. Non-white people do not have a constructively codified response to the white supremacist code. The response of the average individual, non-white person to the activities of the average supremacist, racist man, racist woman is at best pitiful, primitive, and stupid or silly. Non-white people are in serious need of a scientific, compensatory, counter-racist, codified way of thinking, speaking, and acting that is tailored to fit the needs of each individual person, non-white person at all places, in all areas of activity: economic, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, counter-war. The absence of such an active counter-racist code being used by individual non-white persons everywhere each day is the so-called missing link in best helping to end non-white people being race victims and best helping them to acquire the characteristic of universal man and universal woman, collectively and individually, and become the most constructive people possible. Well, this man, he's got a lot of information, and I'm saying I'm just finding about him. So this one I say with greatness, it just shows up right everywhere. It just shows up. You did a lot of work. Okay, so well we know. But since this is a topic anyways, I guess this we should be reading about also. And this is from Wikipedia. White supremacy is the belief that white people are superior to those of other races and thus should dominate them. The belief favors the maintenance and defense of any power and privilege held by white people. White supremacy has roots in the non discredited doctrine of scientific racism and was a key justification for European colonialism. As a political ideology, it imposes and maintains cultural, social, political, historical, or institutional domination by white people and non white supporters. In the past, this ideology have been put into effect through socio-economic and legal structures, such as the Atlantic slave trade, European colonial labor and social practices, the scramble for Africa, Jim Crow laws in the United States, the activities of the Native Land Court in New Zealand, the White Australia policies from the 1890s to the mid 1970s, and apartheid in South Africa. This ideology is also today present among non-Confederates. White supremacy underlies a spectrum of contemporary movements, including white nationalism, white separatism, neo-Nazism, and the Christian identity movement. In the United States, white supremacy is primarily associated with the Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, and the White American Resistance Movement, all of which are also considered to be anti-Semitic. The Proud Boys, despite claiming non-association with white supremacy, have been described in academic context as being such. In recent years, websites such as Twitter, known as X, I don't know why they keep on doing that, and Reddit and Stormfront and the first campaign, the presidency of Donald Trump have contributed to an increase in activity and interest in white supremacy. Different forms of white supremacy have different conceptions. Who is considered white, though the exemplary is generally light skin, blonde hair, and blue eyed. Okay. Light skin, blonde hair, and blue eyed. Traits most common in Northern Europe and that are viewed. What's that word? PSEUD, scientifically. Pseudo, 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 but scientifically. Pseudo. Well, how much words are you? Isn't there no silent word in this? The P can't just be the only silent letter in this word. It would be pseudo, fictically. Pseudofically, as being traits of an Aryan race. Pseudotypically, there's a lots of word that you're missing. So why won't you spell it differently? And not all white supremacists. These people have them words. Okay, so there's a lot of things that have to do with words. This is what I'm saying. The words that we say to each other, the frequency and how we talk to each other. All of these stuff, I'm telling you, we don't look into. That's what I'm saying. Me going through this, is me clarifying certain things, understanding certain things. I go binge watch him because there's a lot of content. He's created a lot of content. It's like the same thing I'm doing right now is the same thing that he did. And he said some people took his content and created like videos. With his content. So yes, I'm gonna go and watch a lot of his show. So back to this. So, and again, we're at and not all white supremacist organizations agree on who is their greatest enemy. Different groups of white sub-Aryan African. Okay, different groups of white supremacists identify various racial, ethnic, religious, and other enemies. People just love it. No, sir. Okay. So most commonly those of sub-Saharan African ancestry, indigenous peoples of the American Oceania, Asians, multiracial people, Middle Eastern people, Jews, Muslim, LGBTQ people. Everybody, me tell you, say them people are here. Now, me ask myself, how can them people have family? Aren't these all supposed to be single people? And people can't have family, can't have. Because if them people hate everybody else, and just how can you just love yourself alone? And that's not a selfish person. So what them need to do is change the definition of this, you know, mother change this to selfish, weak, mentally damaged people. Yes, that's more like it. How can you say this is a description of plus the people where them describe in this all of them things here is not what okay, how is any part of this is white? This is just like this is just like saying how can I put this now? Short people going around beating up everybody who is tall and saying they're tall. This is not possible because you can't say you're something you're not. So you are go around and say you're white supremacist, which means you're suppressing white. That's pretty much what it says. Because everything about this a description I don't fit any human. Me not see no human in this a description. I don't see any human. Me not see no human belief in none of this. Okay, so when we think about these situation, right? We now look upon it and see so them people are some really sick people who needs help. Them people need some medication. They need some medication where I got turn them black. Because when it for seriously, when you look at them people I hate everybody. And they only have to be a specific. Their definition is so there's probably like 30, 40 people who fit this description. And then people are family. Okay. In academic usage, particularly in critical race theory or intersectionality, white supremacy can also refer to a social system in which white people enjoy structural advantage over other ethnic groups on both a collective and individual level, despite formal legal equality. Mm. Well, I guess this is what Professor was fighting against. But it's funny we fight against something that don't exist because these people don't exist. In the context, how would them say it is? It's only a specific. You have to be light skin, blonde hair, and blue eyed. That one very slim population. Everything else a camouflage. But again, it's something that we accept. We accept this. Okay. What do I accept? I don't accept that. Because again, if it's white, white set the balance for all the other color. And white can't entrap. There's a certain criteria for being white. No, sir. But none of them seem thing enough with the criteria being white. Hate, violence. Okay. So then white supremacy as ideology, ideological foundation that date back to the 17th century. So from the 17th century, they don't have them idiot, yeah, right? I come up with them something, yeah. All right, 17th century scientific racism, sometimes termed biological racism, is the So, pseudo scientific belief that the human species is divided into biologically distinct taxonomical races and that empirical evidence exists to support or justify racial discrimination. Oh boy. Let's say the things. Uh, the predominant paradigm of human variation that helped shape international relations and racial policy from the latter part of the Age of Enlightenment until, okay, the Age of Enlightenment was an intellectual and philosophical movement that occurred in Europe in the 17th century and the 18th century. The Enlightenment, the word Enlightenment. Ah, let me see. I'm gonna tell you, say I love this stuff though, man, because I'm gonna tell you, say the journey that me supposed to understand is more than the Enlightenment, which valued knowledge gained through rationalism and Empiricism, empiricism is an epistemological view which holds that true knowledge or justification comes only or primarily through sensory experience and empirical evidence. It is one of several competing views with epistemology, along with rationalism and skepticism. What? I see them people get drunk and come up with them was considered a range of social ideas and political ideas such as natural law, liberty and progress, toleration and fraternity, constitutional government, and the formal separation of church and state. The Enlightenment was precedented by an overlap the scientific revolution, which included the work of Johannes Kepler, Galileo Galilei, Gal, Galil, Galilea, Francis Bacon, Pierre Gasset. All of them people sound like some French people, you know. Yes, this thing go deep, but me I continue because again, this is me documenting this information. So we have to get to realize, yes, now me I put them on tape. White supremacy was dominant in the United States both before and after the American Civil War, and it persisted for decades and still continues decades later. That's not there, but I'm putting it there. After the Reconstruction era, prior to the Civil War, many wealthy white American owned slaves. They tried to justify their economic exploitation of black people by creating a scientific theory of white bullshit. I mean, superiority and black inferiority. Oh, people, I said, them things I know. That's why I'm trying to show you how we talk to each other, how we respect each other, how we look at each other. We don't understand. And we don't choose to understand nothing. We don't choose to understand what's important. That's why I'm saying how great and brilliant these people are. This man and nine. Okay, so they had an issue with his age. They said he was 95 when he passed. Some said he was 98. But to have a brilliant mind right through your life, to have so much space, to understand so much, to detail all of these stuff. I know we say TikTok are where we are. That's why I have to press along. That's why I have to press along. One such slave owner, future President Thomas Jefferson, wrote in 1785 that blacks were inferior to the whites in the endowments of body and mind. Endowment. Oh, I'm telling you. And this man say, even though these things are debunked right through the years, there's people who still hold on to these philosophies. People still believe that. And believe that and them live by that. Imagine that. Imagine. Greatness doesn't come in a skin color, it comes in a mind. Whiteness doesn't come in a skin color, it comes in a mind. Blackness doesn't come in a skin color, it comes in a mind. There's good people in every race, every culture. Them have good people and them have bad people. That's why I'm saying I never look on a person and say, oh, your race is this or your race is that. Because once you say that, yeah, erase the goodness of what it's what the people them do, you know, for them, for them. Many people die for equal rights and justice. Many people die because of the fight to keep equal rights and justice hidden. Enough people are continue dying because of equal rights and justice. And the thing about it is all of the people them want fight for something that they don't own. Them are they left something where they not own. And that me say, I rather give you the information so you can go educate yourself on it. Give you the information so you can go find out more. Give you the information for you to ignore it. Give you the information for you to throw it in the garbage. But at least the information is out there rather than no information at all. Always believe that equal rights and justice with your skills. With your skills. You're talented people. Not everything. That's why I said it's not supposed to be music and entertainment or focus on always a highlight. Because once you do that, that means you're part of the agenda. That's why I say I step away from all of them two-party people. If them not give other people a choice, them have Marcus Garvey movement. Them have like them have the movement, the Jabem movement, or fight for the beach them. There's many people that deserve to get highlight and get for them words out there. Because them people are still there about. Them people are still there. That's why I say me highlighting these great people. It's my duty. It's my pleasure. It's fun. Me love it. Nelly Fuller. Neely Fuller. Neely Fuller. Man born October 1969. 1929. I know that man have a vast memory of history, his story. Right through the year, we can find two people. Right through the year, we can find 2-3 people a day. But we can push up front and say, listen to this person. Said it's just the fact that somebody got to tell me, oh, that's in the past. How can you say greatness is just in the past? Greatness is here and tomorrow and forevermore. I'm gonna binge watch on some of the things then, cause me did come across me thing there, you know, cross my timeline, but me just never click on it. And that sometimes I tell you just a glimpse that miss you. But if me did listen to a couple of words away, mother say, mother find out say that me did supposed to listen to. Because me tell you say, sometimes now the information never come, they're coming fast. The information for us is coming fast. And it's for us to absorb it. Don't be afraid of the information. I know say the past sometimes it tough for people remember and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, say within that bad memory, there's so much good memory. I don't regret nothing, you know. Only the moments then when I say, okay, fine. I could have done that, I could have done that, but I don't regret the moment. You can't regret the moments because the moments are part of the whole universe. Them are the key to make everything go. And I think, okay, so okay, so I talk about it all the time, right? Transformation of the caterpillar to the butterfly. The question is, does the caterpillar die? Does the caterpillar die to become a butterfly? Does anybody know that answer? Does anybody know that answer? Does the caterpillar die for it to be a butterfly? So yes, rest in peace, Neely Fuller Jr. I go look up some more information upon him because so we don't look into the problem, you know. We don't look into the problem to create solution. We run away from the problem and create more problem. Right? We run away from the problem and create more problem. Because if you not eat healthy, you know, so you have to go pay for it later on, you know. The bag of salt, the bag of sugar, all of them things there. Later on, you have to go pay for it. So why not do it from now? All of them knowledge, you see? Once we have them things are within us, you know, it's within us. Next lifetime, the next lifetime, the next lifetime, it's still gonna be in us. So I'm gonna tell you, to me, it feels like it's my preparation for my next lifetime. I'm preparing myself, so I'm adding all of them information, yeah, digging deep into who I could be or will be. Many people won't understand, you know, because you see, being afraid of yourself, fear of oneself, are the biggest defeat of one's growth. Fear of oneself is the biggest defeat of one's growth. Because if you're afraid to accept it, learn. Them people is have to do it, you know. These people have to accept them situation and learn how to deal with it. We not accept it. Every programmer said, we're sitting and waiting for somebody to save us. We're sitting and waiting for the next Marcus Garvey, I sit down and I wait for the next Malcolm X, I sit down and I wait for the next Bob Marley. And they're not coming back because them come here and what them do? Them box them up. Every time them come, it's like a whack-a-mole. Every time a hero show up, them walk off the hero. So no hero now come. Because everybody turn them say nobody no want to be no individual hero no more. Because they see what them do with all the heroes. So the movements that people are supposed to start, the grassroots movement, you have a movement, you have a movement, there's a movement everywhere. Tell us how the people teach you, give us all of the information for us to better ourselves. But we don't want to better ourselves. We don't want to better ourselves. I honestly believe that now. We don't want the growth of us. We love the hate of us, the negative of us. Tell us, it's not like say a person are gonna look upon you and tell you say him hate your business and want to see it destroy up, but within him program, him hate your business. And how you can hate the same business where you own, because we own the same business. We're in the same business. All are we in the same business. So how you can hate the business where you're in? That's why we not on no business, because I tell you say in a fluid community, them say $1 spend 5 minutes in a fluid community. $1 spend 5 minutes in a fluid community. In a other community, $1 spend all 5 years in a feeding community. Because them have infrastructure to keep the dollars. I love this journey when I'm upon. I'm gonna tell you so the people them who are on this type of journey, like-minded people, welcome. I say we used to be solution driven. No, pure problem, no solution. That's not how it's supposed to be, though. As we proceed to give you what you need. Yes, AI always there. AI always the first one show up, you know. AI always the first one show up. And the last one to leave. But at least AI listen. Because I don't understand how we have ears open all the time. But we don't hear nothing. That one of the question for the day, you know.